Ladies and gentlemen, I am SidAlpha, and this will be another relatively short video, mostly due to this being a rather small amount of information. But I thought it important enough after review to put aside tomorrow's line of sight video, at least for a few minutes, along with the whole Police 1013 debacle currently going on involving Big Fry TV and myself, and the game's journalist attack on Sophia Narowitz over the ESA data leak in order to get this information into your hands. Reason being is because this topic, out of all the ones that I'm having to juggle, currently involves you lot most of all, and at the end of the day, that will always be my primary focus. If you've not seen yesterday's Dirty Devs video on OOBLETS, the game that is on your screen now, I'll put a card in the upper right corner of your screen. That will provide a far more in-depth look into the initial situation, and it would be very helpful to watch that video before continuing with this one. However, if you don't want to be bothered with watching that video, I'll provide a very brief overview.
Okay. Here we go, the short version.
Are we ready? OOBLETS developers released an announcement that they're going Epic exclusive. In that announcement, they tried to come across as cheeky and fun, but ended up coming across as condescending and terrible. Gamers get angry, some for the Epic exclusive, most others for the condescending and being terrible. I created a Dirty Devs video in which I outlined the developers' statements and also ridiculed them for not caring whatsoever due to their now having a guaranteed income that exceeds what they could have hoped to get for signing with Epic. Developers say I'm terrible. Okay, now that we're all caught up, one thing that was brought to my attention yesterday that I was planning on including in my video but decided not to because there was a very real concern as to the validity of the statement. Now, those of you that have been following all of this know there's been a screenshot floating around in which the developer is alleged to have stated, quote, "Honestly, I'm tempted to say now that we have funding secured, gamers would be better off in gas chambers, but that's probably insensitive." That immediately got me working on an update to include in the video, but while I was in the process of editing the Dirty Devs video, other people reached out stating that the screenshot was a fake and that the developers said no such thing, as evidenced by this screenshot here and another screenshot here. Now, with that in hand, there were one of two options. Either the statement was deleted or they never said it. And as there was a question as to the authenticity of the screenshot, I had to stand by the ethical decision and not include it, because if I were to include that and present it as fact when there was reasonable doubt that it wasn't, and I was wrong, well, then I would be defaming a games developer. That would be a violation not only of ethical standards, but also of the trust that my viewers place in me. So I decided to leave it out, figuring that the truth would out in due time and it would appear that I was likely correct. You see, one thing some people do when they're watchdogging a situation is to make sure to document as much information as possible. This will oftentimes involve live recordings to make sure information isn't later deleted, so if one goes to the bathroom or steps away for obligations or food or something, they don't end up losing that information. Plus, it's a lot easier than trying to use the snipping tool while someone might be actively deleting information. As that is fairly typical, when I was provided with a video that showed the developer in question making the statement on the Discord and then deleting it again some 48 seconds after, I was left with an impression that we now had a smoking gun. I ran the video through a couple of scans to check for frame breaks at the point in the statement was posted, and not detecting any, I didn't have much reason for concern, but thankfully persistent viewers and defenders of the developers in question saved the day. You see, while I know that one can inspect browser sources, I was under the impression that live introductions of chat messages within a Discord window wouldn't necessarily be possible to be made, especially not to look like they were coming from another source. However, one viewer in particular set the record straight by doing exactly that in this short video clip that you can see here, injecting a statement as if it were me within the general discussion of my Discord. Of course, this is only taking place on their local computer, but it was enough to lend at least partial credence towards the video was being faked that I was up until that point so vociferously defending. An additional component was a confirmation from one of the active members of the Discord chat at the time the alleged statement took place. In that, rman41 confirmed with me that the developer never posted that message. It's frustrating to me to see something like this happen for multiple reasons. The first, obviously, is a very selfish one, as I was busy laying into Tim Sweeney via DMs, only to find myself later being forced to recant what I was saying due to these pieces of evidence. I dislike being lied to, because when that does happen, there's a chance, occasionally, that I might be gullible enough that day to believe it. That could end up causing severe harm not only to my reputation, but even worse, cause undue harm to the reputation of the developers in question. Now, I'm all for calling a developer out for their anti-consumer actions. It's something I do quite often, as regular viewers of my channel well know. But when I do, it's because it's actually their actions. I loathe the concept of berating someone over something they did not do. The second reason is because no one deserves to have their reputation besmirched because of a lie. For whatever reason, no matter how despicable the person, an attack based on a known fabrication is utterly unforgivable. Not only that, it's against the law. At least it is in the US. Freedom of speech is constitutionally protected after all, but one thing that was taken into account was that it must be the truth. Now, I want to make sure this got out there because while yes, the developers did act and respond in a very condescending and hateful manner towards gamers, they did not say what these screenshots in this video claim they did. Of course, a lot of people will attempt to claim this is some sort of hate campaign being leveraged against the developers, and it is further proof that gamers are entitled, toxic, evil little man-babies that hurl accusations and death threats just as quickly as they'll throw out money at loot boxes. However, I don't believe that to be the case here. You see, people that do this don't do so merely to score fake points against their adversaries. No, they do so for entertainment. They do so for the lulz, and for the hilarity factor they garner from watching the tension and the hatred both sides feel towards the other escalate while they dance for the perpetrator's amusement. The person that did this most likely cares nothing for the developer's side nor the side that are angry at them over their condescension. They care only for the chaos they can sow and the vitriolic reactions they can incite others into exhibiting. Hell, it's a tactic that journalists are still buying into this very day for something that happened 6 years ago. It would not surprise me in the least if this person were also sending threats to the developers in order to further enhance the animosity they feel towards gamers. It is a disgusting practice and one that I hope to douse with a little ice water here with this video. Be angry if you must, but make sure you're being angry for the right reasons. I know it's difficult to discern fact from fiction sometimes, but in this instance, what we're dealing with is a clear work of fiction. Don't give this person the satisfaction. Whether you be a person angry at the OOBLETS developers or if you are one of the OOBLETS developers, all it does is give them what they want while harming everyone in the process. Please share this video. Don't let the lies continue. Well, turns out the video wasn't as short as I thought it would be. Fancy that. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, I am SidAlpha, and I'll see you next time.